I just find it very difficult to know why people find it difficult to forgive their fellows for whatever offenses they may have meted against you. You find it so difficult to forgive. Why? Why do you allow someone to build castle in your heart? Why do you allow someone to rent free accommodation in your heart years after years? You're waiting for the day of retaliation. You're waiting for the day you will strike in retaliation to what the person has done to you. Why? Why do you allow someone to rent self-contained in your heart? Self-contained with toilet, self-contained with kitchen. Kitchen, you have knife, you have so many cooking ingredients there. So it's not just about the kitchen, but there are so many things there. You say, I'm going to stab him, I'm going to deal with him. Those are the kitchen utensils now. They are all there. And those ones are waiting for the day of retaliation. The knife will come out, the salt will come out, the pepper will come out, so that when you stab, you need to put pepper. You need to put salt so that the person will feel it so much. Why? Why do people rent bungalow in your heart and they don't even realize it? They don't even know they have rented bungalow in your heart and they are looking for bungalow to rent. And I just wonder why. Why do you allow people to rent bungalow in your heart? And without informing, you don't seek permission from them to make them realize that they have rented bungalow in your heart. And you allow them to go everywhere looking for where to rent bungalow. And you're waiting for the day of retaliation, which may never come, or which will come, and you kill the person. Of what benefit will it be to you that someone died and it was you that aided it? Of what profit, of what benefit will it be to you? Nothing. You made someone to lose his job just because you are retaliating. Of what use is it? Will the person's salary be added to your own? No. The sight of the person pains you so much. Why? And even when the person realizes he has offended you or she has offended you and apologizes to you, why don't you want to accept? Are you God? It just amazes me how some people take the position of God and they just feel like no one can offend them and go scot-free. Why? Is it that you don't offend people? Or you don't expect that after offending people, you should be forgiven? Because the same measure you make to another is the same measure they will measure to you. It's the same measure to you. What goes around, it comes around. The law of karma has a way of dealing with us. Especially when you think you are playing gamble with it. Why is it difficult to forgive? In fact, one time, I once had a friend, a female friend, who one day, she called me. She said to me, Justice, I have something I want to tell you. I said, okay, go on. She said, there is one issue she has been dealing with in her life and it will never leave her. I said, okay, go on. She said she never forgives. What? I was like, you never forgive? Even when the person realized that the person have offended you and apologized, she said the apology is like pepper added to the injury. It is better the person never came to ask her for forgiveness, which she will never forgive. But even when the person came to apologize, in fact, the person is like adding more injury to the one that is already existing. I was like, wow. In fact, at that juncture, in my mind, that person can never be my friend because I don't want somebody to hold me, like hold me in a heart that I've done something to her, and she will never forgive me for it. I don't want. I must distance myself from this kind of friend who is coming close. And this was long before I got married, anyway. So, and I begin to wonder: is it that does this person have something? Of course, you expect that I will start praying for her. I started praying for her actually. I started praying for her, and one day, what I saw baffled me. I was in my dream, and I saw a very big python, and I started praying, speaking in tongues, and then all of a sudden, the python turned, and it happens to be this person now. And so she was very furious, she was very angry. I was trying to call her. In that dream, I was trying to call her. She wouldn't listen to me. Okay? So when I woke in that dream, it occurred to me that the anger she has been expressing and the anger that wouldn't let her be is probably that python in her. So unforgiveness is demonic. Bottom line. Unforgiveness is demonic. If you find that you are unable to forgive people for their offenses, you are unable to forgive the offenses that people meted against you, even when they asked you for it. And remember that one thing leads to another. When you don't forgive people their offenses, neither will your Father in heaven forgive you. Even though you claim to be praying, your prayer is going nowhere. You have something in your mind against someone, and you don't want to come out open or clean to say, I have something against you, you've offended me, I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with you. So that you make room for the person to apologize. Or are you like that person who said, if you apologize, you're adding more injury to the one that is already existing? Are you like the person? If you are not like that person, what stops you from opening up to tell the person, look, you rented accommodation in my heart all these years. I want to forgive you, but this thing you did was not good. Instead of you to seek for every avenue, every opportunity to retaliate that, any opportunity you see to step back, you will take it. You are not a child of God. You don't have the fear of God in you. It is this python in you, python in your life. That's what is causing that thing. Unforgiveness is worse than cancer. Unforgiveness is worse than HIV/AIDS. Unforgiveness is worse than COVID-19. Unforgiveness is worse than Ebola. It's a disease that emanates from the pit of hell. Satan's vow not to forgive God. Even if God has ruled him out for heaven. So everything that God holds there, Satan is against it. He wants to stand back. He wants to do. God pushed him out of heaven. Okay. So every measure to offend God is there. Are you like Satan? Are you also opposing God? When God say forgive others for whatever they did to you. In fact, disciples of Jesus, they came to him asking him, how many times in a day will somebody offend you and you forgive? Until 7 times. And Jesus said, who says 7 times? Until 70 times 7. 70 times 7, my dear. In one day, it means you really for you to allow somebody to offend you until 70 times 7. That means that is the work of the person that day. Because even if the person talks like parrots, the person cannot offend you for that number of times in one day. It's not possible. Okay? So that is to say, there is nothing someone can do to you that you are not expected to forgive. You should forgive people. Forgive people and be free. Forgive people and be happy. Forgive people and be able to mix up. Forgive people their offenses. Why do you carry it in your mind? Allow people to occupy your mind day in, day out. When you see the people, bitterness stirs up in you. It rises. It rises in you. When you see them, it rises in you. There is sense of this, it's like I should blow him. It's like I should blow her. It's like I should just squeeze life out of her. What nonsense. What insolence. The person can never do anything good in your sight. Do you know the reason? Unforgiveness. Because you have never forgiven that person for what the person has done. You have not, and you refuse to forgive the person. You allow the castle to stay year after year, month after month. You don't want to forgive. Why? Why? In fact, to a point, you are even dishing out the accommodation. You are even extending it, going to other people, cajoling the person, the same person. You open his story. This person is this, is that. And as long as the hatred continues, there is nothing good you will see in that person. There is nothing good you will see in that person. You will continue to peddle lies, even lies about the person, just to make it, to justify your hatred for the person. You are not doing God's will. You are doing Satan's bidding. That's what you are doing. You are doing Satan's bidding. So think around you. Who is it that you have so much hatred for in your heart? Who is it that this bitterness stirs up? The moment you hear his name, her name, you don't want to hear it at all, at all. Something in you begin to rise. In fact, you begin to develop high blood pressure because of it. Well, who is that person? What has that person done to you that you have not done to God? That you are breathing is God. That you are eating is God. That you are even alive to not start hatred, you think you are nothing, is God. If God counts your own errors, you will not be alive to not see hatred for another person. So I urge you to forgive people. Forgive your partner. There is no need for that divorce. Forgive her. Forgive him. Forgive. Forgive. Brother, forgive. Sister, forgive. It's true she offended you. It's true she did what she was not meant to do. It's true he offended you. It's true he did what he's not supposed to do. But it should not last forever. Forgive. And as you forgive, God will bless you. There are a lot of things that the question keep popping up in your heart. Should I still forgive him? After all these things he did to me? After all these things she did to me? After all these things he did to me, should I still forgive? You think I should still forgive? Hey, me, I don't know that one. I will not forgive. There is no situation, there is no circumstance for which you will not forgive. Jesus on the cross, pray the prayer for them, for those who were crucifying him at the point of death. This one is at the point of death. He prayed for them. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He was praying that, Father, God Almighty should forgive them, that they are not aware of what they are. These are matured men, married men that have children. They don't know what they are doing. That's what we say today. He said, he knows what he did. He's aware. He did it deliberately. Because they knew they were killing Jesus. They knew when they carried the spear to stab, they knew it means death. He was going to die. When they were cajoling him and speaking on him and doing all sorts of things against him, they knew he was going to die and they were still doing it. So they know. But Jesus did not see it in that light. So it all depends on how you see things. If you see that someone is doing something to just undermine you, someone is doing something to just, to make you feel like nothing, you are nobody. If you see it that way, then you will think that the person is doing it deliberately, he knows what he's doing. But I think you owe them prayers because most of them actually don't know. Some of them that end up cajoling people, they end up talking down on people, they end up abusing people, they end up disrespecting people, humiliating people here and there. They don't know what they are doing. Because if they know the consequences of what they are doing, they will not be doing it in the first place. Like this person that told me that she has this problem of unforgiveness. It's not her fault. It's that serpent in her that is causing that problem. So when you take it as a personal issue, and the reason I have to distance myself, not because I have anything against her, I distance myself because I don't want to also join in the queue of people that will offend her and she will not forgive, she will not let go. I just decided to distance and pray for her so that that thing will leave her. And I think I really dealt with it enough in that very dream to push that thing out of her. So you owe them prayers. You owe your enemy prayers. Forgive. Just forgive. Forgive them. And by forgiving others their sin, you heap coals of fire on their head. You make them to come back to their senses, to begin to think, this person, I really offended this person. This is not nice. And they will seek to come back to you to apologize. This message is for you. If you are not forgiving others their sins, forgive them from today. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that whenever I post a video, you will receive the notification, and drop your comments. Share my videos. Thank you. Of course, deliberately did it. Of course, deliberately, but Jesus prayed a prayer for them.